After 9/11 came a major shift in how the airline industry operates, and now in the wake of COVID-19, more sweeping changes are coming to the way we travel. Joining me now to discuss how the travel industry can survive amid this major disruption is Terry Jones, founder of Travelocity and co-founder of Kayak. Thanks for joining me today, Terry.
Nice to be here.
All right, so you're someone who's very familiar with disruption in the travel industry, with the shift to online booking in particular, but how do you think the travel industry now needs to adapt to survive in this post-coronavirus landscape, starting with the short-term issue here, which is dealing with a huge slowdown in business?
Well, it's a terrible slowdown in business. You know, I was running Travelocity at 9/11. Our business was down 70%. Today, businesses are down 90. So much worse. And they're doing great things. You know, the airlines are cleaning airplanes between every flight. Many of them are still blocking seats. They're developing touchless boarding. Hotels are doing much the same. I talked to a Marriott that's doing 72 hours between the use of a room after deep cleaning, and the room gets sealed. So they're doing all the right things in terms of their practices, I think, but they need to do more because they're not telling their story well enough.
So then from a management standpoint, how do you address that? Because like you said, we have these social distancing guidelines, the cleanliness standards here, and there's a huge impact on the business model as well. So how do you reconcile those?
Well, the problem they have, I think, is that a recent survey from MMGY showed that only 14% of Americans say it's safe to fly and 17% say it's safe to stay in a hotel room. They have to change the opinion. Now, Americans starting a little brand advertising, that's good. United partnered with Clorox. That sounds like a good story to tell. But, you know, most of that information is on their website and nobody's going to their website. And if they're advertising at all, it seems to be social media. So I'm going to say something pretty radical. I'd say they need to get back on TV and radio and just start a campaign that you know, here's what we're doing. They can't say it's safe because nobody is going to say that about anything right now, but they can say, here's what we're doing. And they need to do that in a big way. I'll tell you a real short story. After 9/11, I realized at Travelocity, nobody knew how long the lines were going to be for TSA for Thanksgiving. So I put people in 17 airports with stopwatches. We created a moving graph and on TV 24 hours a day talking about that and telling the story. It was good for my brand. It was also good for the customer. So I think they need to tell the story much better than they're doing today and get out there.
That's very interesting because I feel like now in today's world, social media does seem to be the first place where you hear about a lot of these viral campaigns, but it seems like it's going to take a lot more than that.
I think social is great, but usually for airlines and hotels, it's highly targeted around a destination, around a particular person. Look, I'm a 7 million mile flyer with American. I used to work there. I think I've gotten one email about COVID. It's going to take a lot more than that to change people's opinion. I saw an article the other day that was qualifying risks of things to do this summer. It said, hey, a haircut is a high risk and a hotel is a low to medium risk. Well, I don't think that story's out there. And we opened haircuts and tattoo parlors first. I still can't figure that out. So I think they have to tell the story. The TSA may be doing temperature checks. You know, also lots of countries are still closed to travel. So where should you go? You know, what's open? I think we're going to see a lot more road trips this summer. RV rentals are up 400%. So I think people are going to be driving. They're going to be going outdoors. They're going to be going to national parks. But airlines, you know, I think could be talking about short flights and where you can go in the U.S. I think it's going to take a concerted effort through every advertising and PR outlet they have to tell people, here's what we're doing, and make a choice.
Right. So clearly public opinion seems to be one huge issue here.
Yep.
But also beyond that, you have a lot of talk about personalization and data-driven experiences, even before the coronavirus pandemic, and an increasingly competitive industry now to get the few customers who are traveling. How should companies approach initiatives on that front?
Well, of course, the airlines, invented the loyalty program. It was invented at American when I was there. They have deep connections with their frequent travelers. So they need to be communicating that way as well, and highly personalizing offers. Obviously, price is quite low right now. I think businesses, unfortunately, are communicating very well the way we are on on the web. So it's going to take some convincing to get people out there and back doing face-to-face travel. I think business travelers want to go. I'm not sure corporations are ready for that yet. So I think it's a long-term story. It's going to be tough for the airlines, toughest on the cruise guys. I think hotels could come back sooner just because of road travel.
Right. Yeah, we're hearing that this is likely going to be a multi-year recovery.
Yeah.
So do you see mergers and acquisitions happening in a big way in this space because of what the industry is going through? And where specifically within the travel industry do you think we might see the most consolidation, if any?
Well, certainly, the online travel agencies have taken a big hit. The advertising companies in travel have taken serious hits. I talked to a company I advise, they cut their staff in half the other day. So those areas are very tough. Now the airlines got some help from the government, and that runs through, I think, September. So we'll see after that. Some of them are fairly highly leveraged, but they're all saying that, they think they're going to be okay, and number of seats are rising. The airlines have the opportunity to put planes on the ground, and to cut staff, which unfortunately they've done some of, or will do maybe more after September. Hotels are in a tougher position. You can't move the asset around. So that'll be tougher for them, although that, the road travel and other kinds of travel will help. Convention travel really hit hard. I'm a public speaker. Obviously, I'm not doing any physical public speaking right now. That's going to take a while. It's going to be interesting to watch Vegas, which is opening this week or early next week, I think. And the gamblers will come back, but the conventions are going to be gone for a long time. So people have to look at, how do I reshape my model and change my cost base if I can? Because as you suggest, this is a long-term issue.
It could be a long road to recovery. We're keeping an eye on it, and we definitely really appreciate your insights today.
Thanks very much for having me on.